I'm Katie. I started Courageous Steps 15 years ago, not as a business plan, but from a deeply personal place. I am often asked, what is Courageous Steps? Why does it exist? The honest answer is it wasn't born from strategy or from ambition. It came out of chaos. In 2010, my son was born prematurely. We lived day to day in the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit. Those rhythms and quiet rituals became my lifeline. They gave me structure and steadiness after the trauma of a disrupted birth. That is where Courageous Steps' story began. Not as a program, but as a practice, a way to restore humanity when life feels unpredictable. That experience led me to study leadership, not the traditional kind, but the kind that begins within. Because real leadership, the kind that heals, isn't about control or about performance. It is about courage, empathy, and self-awareness. In 2021, another major plot twist. My biological father passed away. Our family inherited farmland in northwest Arkansas. We left California and everything familiar to us for a life I couldn't quite name. The land has required many of the same listening, intuition, and foresight skills that I teach in my leadership workshops, seminars, and keynotes to professionals at all levels of an organization. I went from barely keeping a cactus alive to managing land, caring for animals, parenting a neurodiverse teen, and finishing my PhD. But here's what I've learned. When life breaks us open, something new is usually trying to take root. And if we rebuild slowly and intentionally, we don't just recover, we transform. That is what Courageous Steps is all about, helping people lead through transition towards wholeness. Because transformation doesn't always start in boardrooms. It starts in people. I collaborate with everyday leaders who are cultivating safety, equity, and trust, often in systems that make all three difficult. These are people who notice when something isn't working and choose to act, not with authority, but with intention. These are people who are parents advocating for more inclusive education, caregivers demanding dignity in healthcare, educators redesigning classrooms to support every student, community organizers creating space for belonging, frontline workers in social services building trust at every touch point, local leaders making sure every voice gets heard. These are the people I serve. They bring the lived experience, not always positional authority. Together, we co-create systems change at every level of organizations and in society. I help them pause, reflect, and reconnect with their values. I help them name the things that are harmful, navigate resistance, and stay grounded in who they are. I help them build trust and clarity so their leadership has deep, lasting impact. Because we're living in a time when trust in leadership is fractured. Systems are unraveling. But that also means something new is trying to emerge. And maybe that's the work of Courageous Steps, to remind us that the future isn't something we enter, it's something we co-create together. So if you're in a season of change or of loss, or just asking, what now? I want to invite you into this work alongside me. Because leadership isn't about having the answers. It's about being willing to begin again, one courageous step at a time. If this speaks to you, visit courageoussteps.org. Click Services and schedule your first 30-minute call. It's free, no pressure. I help people take the next step that's true to them. Courageous Steps is about restoring humanity to the world, one step at a time.